Welcome back, everybody. It's Friday, July 25th, 2025. What do y'all think about starting with birthdays? Born on this date. In 1925, drummer for the Motown session band Funk Brothers and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Benny Benjamin of Birmingham. That's him on the kit for the Temptations' My Girl and the Gladys Knight and the Pips version of Heard It Through the Grapevine. In 2001, former Crimson Tide quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner Bryce Young of Pasadena, California. Now, I realize most of y'all will figure this out pretty quickly, but don't get tripped up by any headlines you see shared on social media about how some people are trying to get the Birmingham airport named after the late Ozzy Osbourne. Of course, it's Birmingham, England, Ozzy's hometown, where that effort is really happening. Otherwise, the reaction is, well, first we honored the God of the Forge and now the Prince of Darkness. Lord have mercy. Let's talk about women's prison, Trump's executive order on college sports, and a lawsuit stemming from a Piggly Wiggly incident. I'm Mike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
The Piggly Wiggly incident sounds like a great title for a short story. Somebody work on that. Well, we know about those two pricey men's prisons that the state is having built in Elmore and Escambia counties. But what about the women of the big house? Well, problems at Julia Tutwiler Prison were presented to the Alabama legislature's Joint Prison Oversight Committee this week, reports AL.com's Mike Kaysen. Tutwiler is the only major women's prison in Alabama. 10 years ago, the U.S. Justice Department's investigation found that there had been a history of staff on prisoner sex abuse and harassment, and entered into a consent decree with the state that had 44 provisions for fixing prison conditions at Tutwiler. Last year, the DOJ said the state was in compliance with all those provisions. Still, there are no plans for replacing that 83-year-old facility, said committee member Representative Chris England, a Tuscaloosa Democrat. Quote, I just think it sends a horrible message that we're allowing women to live in a squalor, in a hellhole, while we focus on building another facility for men, end quote. Rachel Elledge is a former inmate who now works for the Christian-based Addiction Recovery Residential Lovelady Center in Birmingham. She said the unair-conditioned dorms can reach over 100 degrees at Tutwiler, something she believes contributes to more violence during miserable summer months. A recovering addict herself, Elledge also said that drug access, often through corrections officers, she claimed, leads to many of the problems inside the prison. Quote, I was taken out of an environment that was fueled by violence, drugs, all kinds of crazy things that were led by criminals and thugs, and I was sentenced to another environment that was just as violent, that drug use was rampant, but this time it was run by the Alabama Department of Corrections, end quote. The Department of Corrections responded by pointing out that numerous civilians and staff have been arrested for introducing contraband and that improvement requires more resources. Alabama Athletics Director Greg Byrne digs one of the latest presidential executive orders, reports AL.com's Matt Stahl. President Trump signed the order on Thursday, prohibiting third-party pay-for-play payments and supporting the continuation of name, image, and likeness payments. It does call for those NIL payments to be of fair market value so that they aren't essentially pay-for-play deals. The order also calls on federal authorities to clarify whether college athletes can be considered employees of the college. Byrne has said before that if all athletes become employees, it would cause the university to cut sports. From Byrne's statement on Thursday, quote, "The University of Alabama applauds this executive order from President Trump to help ensure a long-term, sustainable model of intercollegiate athletics. We are proud of our broad-based athletics programs and strongly support future regulatory and congressional action that will preserve these opportunities for student athletes." Well, a civil court case outlived both an elderly woman and a man who pushed her down to still result in a $1.17 million award, reports AL.com's William Thornton. According to court records, in 2018, a man was trying to steal $100 worth of meat from a Piggly Wiggly in Phoenix City that was owned by JTM Corporation. The man was trying to steal the meat by sneaking it out in his britches. Now, as store employees tried to stop him, according to the lawsuit, the man threw 85-year-old Muriel Battle to the floor. The lawsuit claims that after that, she suffered from headaches and nightmares, although she died 3 years ago from unrelated causes. The man who pushed her has also died. Battle's estate sued JTM Corporation over the ordeal, claiming that the pig had a role in her injuries, and the Russell County jury agreed to the tune of that $1.17 million. Well, thank y'all for listening to us. We're going to be back here bright and early Monday. Until then, y'all come by and see what we're doing anytime you want to at AL.com.